Creators Game, episode 38. I'm Daya Miller.
Jay Smith.
Chris Vale.
And we didn't have too much of a break at all. What has it been? 3 days? 2 days?
You got me out of bed for this one.
Pretty much. You figure it was like we filmed Thursday, but you pretty much dropped it at midnight going into Friday.
Yeah, so, and then the numbers are doing very well on YouTube, so hopefully you guys keep tuning in. But we have a lot to talk about. Let's just catch up before we get into it. I'm sure everyone's going to, see my face, or maybe they have been following us on social media and know a little bit about the anticipation of this episode. But let's just catch up. In the last 2 days, what has been going on?
Saturday, I scratched one off the bucket list and went and saw the Black Crows. Which means I missed our game against Hamilton, but the men proved that they can do it without me occasionally.
Yeah, they held it down. They held it down for you.
Awesome.
What about you, Vale? What have you been up to? We were at the game, so I know that part.
Yeah, we went to the game. Last night, our work had a staff appreciation thing with a few businesses that our owner owns. So that was at Montreal with the Healers and stuff. It was a fun night, free dinner and stuff, and good get together. And then this morning I went to a card show in Hamilton, filming here today, then gonna open the store up for a little bit, and then call the game tonight for Rivermen Game 5, do or die.
Did you get up and sing last night with the Healers?
I did dance a little bit.
Video, or it didn't happen?
Somebody said they were gonna, but it didn't.
You're busy.
They said they were ready to make a reel.
All right, but okay, let's get to the Rivermen game before we get to the incident that happened after the Rivermen game. Let's talk about that game because now we have the odds are even. It is 2-2, Hamilton, Rivermen. Game is tonight at 7 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. It is Monday right now, so Monday, August 4th.
4th, yeah.
The game is tonight. It is the final game. What can we expect? But before that, give us a little update for everyone who wasn't there about the game.
If you're a Friday's game, right? Like you guys just, like Jay said in the last episode, adjustments were been made, and it looked like at Friday you guys quickly jumped out on the lead, right? At least Dockstader had a really good game, 2 in the overtime loss, and then he went in, had 2 more goals. David Anderson's he's a great pickup for you guys. The defense, Ty Belanger is playing good in net, and then you guys really took it to those guys. What was the final then? It was 9-2 at one point, and then
I think it ended up 9-5 or 9-6.
But,
yeah,
like you said, you guys really took it to them. Even at the end, you scored the last goal, and it was. And then going into. Well, I wasn't too sure, right? We talked about the home floor advantage, maybe the Dan Anderchuk with Hamilton. That's where you guys had 2 losses this year, and 3 with the playoff game. And again, you guys jumped out for a quick lead. What was it, about 4-1 or 4-2 when we were kind of there?
I mean, I think they got 2 goals in the first
couple minutes,
30 seconds or something.
And they came back a little bit. There was a couple penalties and stuff, but you guys really what was it, 8-7 then at the end? So you guys they still never got the lead or never tied, and that was huge, I thought, where, the fact that Hamilton never even had the game tied. You always, guys, controlled the whole game.
Well, going into Game 3, because we lost the first 2 games, going into Game 3, we had never had a lead the whole series. So Game 3 and 4, things have turned around, and like I said, I wasn't there. I was watching. I was keeping updated on Game Sheet. I'm sitting there at the Black Crows concert, looking at my phone, watching the updates. So, I'm very proud of those guys for being able to dig deep because there's always behind the scenes stuff's going on. You guys were there. I wasn't, but I only got updates this morning. It's Senior B. It's men. You're grown men playing. And the pettiness that goes on by certain teams, I'm not going to mention any, but it's just, it's men. Let them play. If you don't like the pettiness, don't bring it into the game. Because the Rivermen don't do that. We ain't worried about, whether or not somebody has enough ice or water, or we don't have it, we get it. We roll with it. It's... just the petty little garbage that goes on, and it's sickening, really, to think the team on the other side of the arena are also grown men and they got to stoop to this stuff. It's BS.
Well, like you said, even social media posts, right? Sticks getting stepped on, and I do think after, I was talking to Dale on the way out to the Saturday's game, where I was like, wait, I don't think, remember you were thinking it's the stream they're sending in? Mm-hmm. They do put a green camera up behind us. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably what they're sending in, their own kind of game tape that they put behind us. Because then we seen it. Daya pointed it out. He's like, "Yeah, there it is, right there at the away game, at the game in Hamilton, and I thought that could have been the footage of the stick stepped on. Looked like it was more kind of grainy from their kind of camera.
You know what's funny? Our playoff games have been streamed. You've been commentating them.
Yeah.
Games in Hamilton, we have not had access to any game film. So, I mean, again, the pettiness. We asked for a link to watch the game out in Hamilton, or from Hamilton the other night. Nothing as of yet. So again, it's the pettiness. But do we really need to go over game footage? We were all there. We saw what happened. We know we won. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, because I think later a topic, right, was Live Barn, right? We saw there is a Live Barn in there as well. So,
but going back to that whole stick stepping on incident, what that video doesn't show is whose stick it is.
Yeah.
I saw the social media post by the other team, and it said something along the lines of sportsman-like or whatever. Nobody saw whose stick that was. Maybe he was mad at his own stick and stepped on it. Nobody saw whose stick it was.
Plus, too, that like right away I was able to. It was a game 1 footage, and then they waited all the way till game 4, the day of game 4, to post it. So if they swept you guys, were they ever going to post it?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Pettiness.
Yeah, it kind of like they're trying to play with the character of the Rivermen to be like, oh yeah, they try to change like maybe the perception of the fan base, perception of how they look within the league, and it's like, oh well, they're trying pretty much anything, because like what we heard was that they weren't giving you access to water. They put you in a small dressing room on like Saturday or something like that.
That's what I'm told too, and you know, to my understanding, and I could be wrong, I'm sure I'll get corrected at some point, we are to provide, what am I trying to say here? We are to provide adequate accommodations as far as dressing rooms. We're supposed to give both teams water and ice, stuff like that. And by the sounds of it, it didn't happen on Saturday's game. It until a little later on. But by that point, you know, I think our equipment guy was even told at one point, if you want water, get it out of the bathroom sink. Is the other team drinking water out of the bathroom sink? Because I mean, if they are, show us that you are, and we'll gladly follow suit. But again, pettiness, stupid little mind games, and again, we saw it didn't work. Rivermen won.
What do they normally do? Give you guys like water bottles and stuff like that? Or like
we're supposed to give the cases of water, bags of ice. I'm not sure if it's policy that they give each team a table. You know, tables are outside the dressing room.
Yeah,
equipment guys set up their toolbox, whatever. But they didn't even provide a table, which is fine. We still got through it.
And like you said, your guys' equipment guy, Rich, and then Wade, the trainer, they've been with you guys for over like 15 years, I want to say almost. So it's kind of like you said, they've seen it all and been a part of all these teams and stuff like that. So for teams being disrespectful to them too, right? Two guys that have been around forever.
Again, the mind games. Did it work? No. Just be men and play the game.
Who are like making a lot of these decisions, like because the lacrosse community is so small that like even how you said it, these guys have been on the bench for like 15 years. They probably helped out in those communities. They probably helped out at tournaments with these people for many years doing things within lacrosse. So to now be playing against them and to just like, I get it that it's competitive. We're gonna try to do anything we can to win a game. However, these guys, like the lacrosse community, should still have love for each other at some point and be like, hey man, these guys just want water. Like, it's just simple. It's just water.
Perfect. Like you said, their equipment guy, Rich, before he was helping the Rivermen, he helped St. Catharines, where his son was playing before being a Riverman, with the same GM, was GMing and stuff, St. Catharines back in the day. So like you said, there is a relationship there with these players and coaches and bench staffs and everything. So
exactly. There's a guy on the other team's bench from our community.
Yeah. And then even Ty Argent, once a Riverman guy, Alec, and he's played 10 amps. He's played snipers and different things before, right? So
yeah, I mean,
everybody's kind of played with everybody at some point, right?
It is what it is. There, our friend from Tennessee and his family, his son CJ. Shout out to CJ. His dad messages me every so often, and CJ, who because he is special needs, has a tough time communicating, but I got a message this morning saying something along the lines of, I don't want to pull my phone out to get the actual words, but something along the lines of, keep going the way you're going. See, CJ's cheering us on from Tennessee, and the last part said, the Rivermen belong on a cereal box, not that stupid tiger. So shout out to CJ.
That's a pretty good one. But yeah, like I just think about that camaraderie of like, you know, these guys have all worked together, and then to at some point, just to like all of a sudden turn your back because of one game. Like, I get it, we're competitive, I understand it, but like, come on, let's just meet each other in the middle type thing.
Well, I guess we'll see how friendly they are after tonight when we're shaking hands and Rivermen advance.
Now, like, this is a little bit of a different question because they have Six Nations coach. Like, can you just reach out to him and be like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" Or is it just there's no communication like that?
Well, John had last episode. John had mentioned who the guy is that's over on Hamilton bench, Vinny Longboat. I mean, he's played here. He's played. He's minor, as far as I know. He's even played for the Chiefs before. Mad respect for the talent that the guy has, the knowledge that he has, and shout out to Vinny for that. But at the same time, he should also know the struggles that Six Nations teams face day to day. Not just Six Nations teams. It seems like any team that is from a Native community, he should know the struggles. I would hope that he's not buying into everything that's going on, but at the same time, if he's on the bench staff, he's got to be aware of what's going on. The mind game's got to stop.
Yeah, because I wonder that. After the game, there was an altercation. We'll get into that. But from that, I talked to some of those players on Hamilton. They watched the show. So I would assume that their coach also watches the show and their staff watches the show. So, like, as we have, like, in this audience and we're kind of just saying, hey, people, everyone just give each other an equal chance, you would think that they would click in that, like, hey, we don't want to be the topic on the show. We should just go out there and actually give them an equal chance. And if they're better than us and they beat us, they beat us. And if Hamilton comes out on top, then Hamilton comes out on top. Then,
oh, don't get me wrong. Hamilton is a very gritty team.
Yeah,
like even last year was their first year in the league, was it not, Chris?
Yep.
So even last year, like come playoff time, the top four were in a little different order than they were this year. And I was talking with some of the players last year, and the players even said, let's hope that Hamilton and Brooklyn face off because Hamilton gives us a harder time than Brooklyn does. And it's true. Hamilton is a very tough, gritty team, and they give us a harder time than Brooklyn does. So for us to face them in the first round, for us to win tonight and get past them and get to the Ontario final, it's going to take a lot of work. I mean, shout out to all those players. They're tough. They're gritty. They buy into whatever systems they're being coached. But at the end of the day, I don't think any of this is coming from the players at all. I think it's coming from management.
yeah, like that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, I don't think it was coming from, like, I don't know about the coaches, but like someone even higher up. Because from what it seems like, the players, they're just focused on the game. They're just like, yeah, I'm going out there playing the best I can, and it is what it is.
At the end of the day, if the better team wins, the better team wins. I mean, I know who I want to win, but in the sense, if it comes out that Hamilton beats us, so be it. Sure, it'll hurt. Sure, it'll sting. Sure, I'll be pissed off. But at the end of the day, the better team should win. And Hamilton's gritty and tough. I know we're in deep tonight, but I'm still predicting Rivermen.
Because like you said, too, I don't think they have many players this year from their Oakville days. Last year, they might have had a couple in the first year to help them out, but it really seemed like they had a big roster turnover this year, especially. Like, they've had some guys that have played Oakville Rock, like I said, like the Hayden Walsh technically didn't play Oakville Rock, but they held his rights, dropped him down. The Carson Moore did both this summer, and I think a couple other guys were like Oakville Rock property and kind of dropped down to their affiliate, but they don't really have many guys from the team that went to President's Cup years ago from.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of those Oakville Rock guys that went to the President's Cup a few years back were basically all Senior A guys, and the whole team bumped down to B for a year or two. I get it. In that year, Oakville should have been in the President's Cup because they were all mostly Senior A guys.
They had 15 NL players on the team.
Yeah.
Before the rule, kind of hence the reason why that rule came into effect, right? Between them and Ladner.
It didn't affect their outcome for as far as Oakville because.
Yeah, they didn't. You guys beat them in 22 in the Ontario Championship, and then, like I said, that. When it was you guys in Oakville that one year, you guys both kind of played some AP players just to kind of rest. They beat Rivermen in the championship for Ontario's, but both went. That's what I would. Obviously, we got to get past tonight, but if you guys in Brooklyn make or Ontario championships, both teams go. Is that now do or die? Hey, let's try to win the Ontario championship, or is it let's hope guys are healthy and kind of go to the President's Cup?
Yes, winner of tonight's game does go to the President's Cup as a second Ontario rep because Brooklyn's already in.
Yeah.
Brooklyn didn't have to finish
Swept the one
first.
sound.
Brooklyn could have finished last and still been because of the host. Having said that, we don't want to go in just as a finalist. We want to go in as the defending Ontario champions because we won it last year.
And I know for Brooklyn, their big thing is getting the they have Deacon Knott from the old Minto Cup Burlington team, and then they drafted Will McLeod out of Hamilton. I think he's might be more Stony Creek area, and like he's been really good. Robert Morris kid, and he's been playing A-ball, and also because they had a lot of those guys from their senior A team playing both. And then he sounded like he was orchestrated the Alex Marenier and Saris from Peterborough and Coalberg. They've been playing both. And that's almost what a lot of leagues are saying, right? How like you guys are Ontario teams because the guys going back, signing B cards, but still APing for their A teams where those other leagues they can't.
No, but those other leagues can also pick up players after.
Yeah, very true.
So, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Like I know I heard talk in Can-Am how they're able to pick up guys. In Can-Am final roster, when they submit it, they can have 30 guys. To me, I don't really see the point in that because when you get the President's Cup, you can only take 25 and an extra goalie.
Yeah.
So you still have to cut 5 more even after you win your league.
And after me and you were talking to a couple of Warriors guys after, I was like, if you guys made it, 5 guys from your team still get cut because you can only submit 25. And they were like, oh, shit, really? Like they were kind of didn't even realize. They think like after July 1st, oh, we're on this team. And I said, yeah, and then if you guys pick up a guy or two, you got to cut 2 more guys. So I was like, your roster's never really set till the end.
Well, look at it. Was it last year in Ladner, Winter Rivera was out there with Snake Island and had played Junior B with, was it the War Chiefs last year?
Yeah.
So here's Winter in the OLA with Kahnawake, but we can't pick him up even though we're in the OLA team because we're not affiliated with Kahnawake. So the loophole there last year was Snake Island plays in the Three Nations League. And War Chiefs were in FNLA or FNLA JBLL or whatever it's called. I don't even know. I don't even know all acronyms anymore. But both leagues are under the FNLA banner. So that's why he was able to pick him up. But even though Winter's in the OLA this year, we can't.
Because, that was 2015 in St. Catharines. I remember the Muskies picked up a young Lucas Beaver, Goa Abrams, and maybe like 1 or 2 other guys. Jeff Palace's little brother, Leland Palace, they were all on Seneca War Chiefs and somehow got to play Muskies at 2015. They did beat the Rivermen, but then the Rivermen said that they're just happy they beat us, and the Rivermen went on to then win the championship that year. And and then even a couple of years later, how like the Bucks picked up, when the Bucks were in Can-Am, they picked up Can-Am players, but then I believe Tommy Stevens and somebody else who was on Allegheny got picked up by the Muskies because that Three Nations banner. So it's almost like you play in the Can-Am League but can get picked up by 2 different
and I mean, I'm not...
loopholes, right?
At the end of the day...
Exciting league, though. Exciting league.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean... Those 2 leagues get away with that, and by get away with it, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, if you're able to, you're going to do it. But to my knowledge, Ontario and BC are the only ones not allowed to pick up players from other teams for the President's Cup. But what it boils down to is population. Like Ontario and BC have the biggest numbers, so should they be awarded to pick up other players when there's other players already available? I don't know. At the end of the day, we're just focused on winning tonight and getting to the President's Cup. We'll worry about all that other political stuff later.
Yeah, got to get there first, right?
Yep.
But let's get to something that I think that will help the community grow a little bit. We're going to try to use this as an educational tool rather than just as something that, we're going to brush under the rug. There was an incident after the Rivermen game. Vale, you were there as well. Vale was in the passenger seat. I think he even ran away at some point. I don't know where you went, Vale.
He went to the phone booth to put his Superman suit on.
Yeah, I don't know. Marcy Projects? I don't know, man. You went somewhere. I couldn't find you. But essentially, there was an accident outside of the Rivermen, a car collision that escalated to a community member who's, older, and I respect my elders, coming to your door and basically trying to open it and starting to yell. And I just basically just said, we're going to call the cops, right? Because I felt that was the best thing to do, was because we're not going to get anywhere by sitting here, her yelling at us. There's already an accident right here. We need to get out of the way. Let's just call the cops. It set this community member off. Didn't want the cops being called, and that was clear. I get out of the vehicle as to go look and see if there's any damage, because apparently she said there was damage. And instead, I got hit. I got slapped. Yes. And then like the first hit me, and then I was kind of like, whoa, like you can't hit me. And there's a bunch of people around. There's like, I don't know how many people, right? There's
A couple people, yeah.
yeah,
for sure.
like you know how like when there's a fight at a high school and people crowd around?
Yeah.
This is happening outside in the parking lot at the Rivermen game.
So just to clarify, there was an accident, and you guys were in the accident.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody hit you guys?
So the way I see it is she hit us. That's what happened.
Okay.
Because even if you look at like, again, there's footage of this. There is actual video footage of this. I said that I had footage of it because there's cameras on the vehicle. I'm a tech guy. That's literally what I am.
Mm-hmm.
I take pleasure in that. Like to know that, I'm like, yeah, I got cameras, cool. And I have insurance. And I said this to Vale when we were in the car. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I have insurance. We're okay. We're going to call the cops. That just led to getting slapped because this person didn't want the cops called. And then basically a lady came over. She was the mother from the Hamilton team. And she was like, hey, you can't do that, because she witnessed the whole thing. Like, well, she didn't come over. She was standing there, but she was the first one to speak up. And then that triggered the lady, the Six Nations community member again, to come at me again and then hit me 3 more times in front of everybody.
Jesus.
In front of everybody. So I'm standing there and I'm backing up like, whoa, and just looking at everyone. And then the lady's screaming like, hey, like, you can't do that. And she's already on the phone with the cops. So the phone call is recorded, and like we're all just standing there, and I'm just like looking around. Like I'm like staring at 15, 20 people outside of their vehicles. There's probably about, 10 cars lined up waiting to get out of the, there's only one way out of this arena, all watching. And I'm just like, yeah, I just got slapped. Yeah, for real. So I just stood there, and they called the cops. And then as they called the cops, this lady started to pace around this lady was non-native, part of the other team, started to pace around her. And then the lady was on the phone, and she's like, hey, cops, can you hurry up? She's pacing around me. So her sons came over. Her sons were part of the Hamilton team, and they had witnessed everything. But at this point, they're like, hey, I'm just here to make sure my mom doesn't get touched.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I still don't know where Vale is. Vale, like, where were you, Vale?
I think I got out of the car, and then I just kind of was going to go to the bathroom or something. And
I was
kinda
going to go to the bathroom.
I was like,
I'm telling you, he was looking for a phone booth to change into a Superman suit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize at first you were bleeding till I came back, and I was like, oh shit, you're bleeding.
Yeah, like there was like blood on my face. And I'm just like, because again, like I just kept my hands in the air. Like, I don't want any of these problems. I know how this is going to look.
Mm-hmm.
I am a man. This is an older woman. I'm keeping my hands here. There are a whole bunch of people watching. I'm just standing there, not moving. I'm not going to move. I'm just standing here. And so, yeah, and on my part, it was scary because you never know what people will say.
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly.
But the great thing was there's cameras, there's a whole bunch of people, there's community members, and it made me feel a little bit more safe knowing that there's lacrosse community members, because some of those people actually knew who I was, and that's why they were so shocked. There was kids coming up. The commissioner of the Senior B League came up and was just like, hey, man, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, but what is going on here? Like, yeah, I'm sure there's cameras. And he's like, oh, I don't want any problems. I'm just gonna leave. And I don't blame you. Like, it's not his problem to deal with. But like, stuff like this needs to be addressed, because if we don't address it, then this can just continue to happen in this community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not okay. It's not okay. You got to keep your hands to yourself. No one did anything to this person. I never raised my voice, never did anything. In my mind, the only thing I can think of is, Dea, you are a public figure. Kids look up to you. This is someone's grandmother. This is someone's daughter. This is someone's auntie. This is like someone's mother, right? And like her son watches this show. her grandchildren watch this show. They had to witness all of that and just see her do that. And in my heart, I'm like, just sad, because that's my community.
Yeah.
That's my community. And to see my community act like that, I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone or anything like that. I just want everyone to see this and to be like, hey, as a community, let's grow from this. Let's hold everyone accountable. Nothing needs to happen, but just let's hold people accountable for their actions. Because even after the thing, she tried to say and look around at everyone and say that I hit her. And then the lady was just like, no, he didn't. I was standing here the whole time, and there's a whole bunch of people. So it was like one of those things where, like, I'm just standing there like a tiger in the zoo, watching everyone take pictures and watch everyone just stare at me. I'm all bleeding and all that stuff, and I'm just like, oh, like this is going to be one hell of a topic for the podcast.
And still no veil.
No, he did. I still didn't know where Vale was. Marcy Projects, he was back there, across the border and everything.
I figure a lot of people thought it was like because of the lacrosse game, right? A few people came up with the ref and stuff.
Yeah, like still refs came up, community members came up, and they probably thought it was community versus community, but it was Six Nations. And that's the embarrassing part. Like, we need to be better as a community. I thought I was doing the right thing by saying, hey, we're not going to get anywhere. Like, let's just call the cops. Like, we all got insurance. That wasn't okay, I guess.
I was at the Black Crows. Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah. But
I got some cool video footage of the concert, though.
yeah. Well, I'm waiting for all the other footage that I've been reaching out for from other people, because there has been a lot of people reaching out. Like, people who weren't even there, who were in Elora, start texting me like, hey, like, immediately. Like, we weren't even out of
the parking lot.
Out of the parking lot, and there was people within the lacrosse community making sure that we were okay. So, like, our organization, as media people, as media personalities going out here, when I say that, like, you know, when we go in communities, we represent our community. That's what I was doing. I was doing the right thing. So I hope everyone does the right thing in moments like that. And I hope the community treats your media representatives who are trying to represent you properly with respect. And that's all I want, is respect all around this community. That's what Beyond Pride's about. We need to be proud of what we're doing on this community. And that was an incident where I'm not proud of, I'm sure she's not proud of, and this community shouldn't be either.
Well, I got to admit, I got a message this morning from a community member, and they said, hey, what's going on? I was told that Dea got after an old woman.
See?
I get it. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And from going from that, I can also see how things are already being twisted. So I hope all this video footage surfaces, and I hope that you're able to. I shouldn't even say I hope you're able to defend yourself, because by the sounds of it, there's no need to defend yourself.
The thing was, we left. We went home. She left in a cruiser.
What?
Yes. Because that's what it came down to. Like, the cops were like, hey, like, you're okay. Like, we see what's going on here. She's still trying, like, she won't calm down. And me and Vale left. And that was it.
What the hell?
Literally, that was it. It was just like they said, yeah, you're good to go, because we believe you. Like, there's a lot going on over here. So I don't know. But this is all going to come out on the podcast, and I just hope that at the end of the day, like, everyone has seen the last 38 episodes. They know what we stand by. They know what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this community a better, healthier place.
I don't know. I guess, as they say, it'll all come out in court.
Yeah, and I'll be waiting, because, you know, I'm a young, educated, confident, resourceful person. So that's all I can say.
If that cut on your face leaves a scar, it'll add character.
Well, I need a little bit of character, because let's get to some jokes. Let's not keep it all. I got jokes. I got slapped. That's hilarious. It can only happen to the Adam Sandler of lacrosse.
You know what? For the other show I'm on, I recently just purchased a body cam. Maybe you need to start wearing it.
I think so. I'm a tech guy. I should start just wearing body cams.
Maybe I'll bring it to you so you can figure it out and show me how to work it anyways.
Yeah.
The cop videos on TikTok get pretty crazy.
Those what?
Body cam videos.
Oh,
I think you watch one and then they all start popping up, but some of them get pretty nuts.
yeah. But does anyone have any last minute comments or any other jokes? Because I got a whole bunch of jokes, but if we're going to be so serious, I ain't got any jokes.
It's all right. Yeah.
Some of our minor teams wrapped up provincials on the weekend. I know one of our U13 teams, one of our U15 teams made it to semifinals, which is pretty good to finish top 4 when there's that many teams in each division out there. So I want to give them a shout out. As far as jokes go, I'll think of something.
I know we have some fans in Kahnawake, and I saw Kahnawake U13. I don't know which kind of like number they won, if it was C, D, E, but they won. I guess Kahnawake never won anything provincial wise in lacrosse, so that U13 team won the first ever provincial lacrosse championship for Kahnawake.
Was it a championship or their first ever game?
No, championship.
Was it a championship?
Yeah, so I don't know if they
Awesome.
won the. Like I heard the Six Nations 3 lost in the E semifinals, so I don't know if these guys. I look like they might have lost to Guelph, so I don't know if Kahnawake won the E or the C or anything. But yeah, they won a U13 provincial title.
Awesome, good for them. I mean, lacrosse is getting big in Kahnawake again. They have a minor system again. They have a senior C team.
They almost brought back Junior B this year. Maybe they'll try again next year.
Yeah, that team would be in.
It was going to be in the Fire League.
The FNLA loop. Hopefully they pick up, because that league itself too had teams fold up this year. So, don't know the political stuff, don't know the financial stuff, why these teams are folding or pulling out in FNLA Junior B and in Can-Am. Let's hope that over the summer, over the winter, they can regroup and bring these leagues back to life.
Then a big thing too in lacrosse, I found out confirmed last night. Somebody did come into the store. They were like, "Oh, but we heard they're bigger nets in U17," and I was like, "Oh no, minor's all 4x4. It's not till junior." It was confirmed last night. Minor lacrosse in U17 next year is going to go to 4x6 junior size nets.
Even for the little guys?
For the U17.
Oh, okay.
So you'll play 4x4, and then once you hit U17, and I'm assuming U22 will be the same, because as of now, U22, since it was minor, was still 4x4, but they're like, "Oh, these goalies are huge."
Well, U22 is under the whatever minor organization banner.
Yeah, so they have to use the 4x4 nets.
But they're the same age as junior.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would make sense. And putting them in U17 makes sense, too, because that gets those kids ready, goalies and players, for when they make the jump to junior.
Yeah, because they were talking about games at qualifiers and stuff being 3-2 games, right? Because you just got a goalie that's a man, 6'4" in net with big XXX pads on, and it's not. Is it fair that goalie's making saves on the same net that a little U9 kid's saving on, right? So again, +2 helps those shooters and stuff. I guess they figure, because that is the biggest thing, right? They say the nets get bigger in junior for goalies, or now the players get to kind of shoot on bigger junior size nets to help the development of the players.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's going to start in OLA next year. I don't know if it's on a CLA thing or just an OLA thing, but for sure OLA, I guess.
We'll see.
So what's going on with the streaming of all the games going on in provincials? I've seen that was one of the big comments that someone were asking about, like, how do they watch the games, and also how are they picking who they allow to stream these games, because apparently they're choosing.
I know a few years back, when cell phone video footage first started making its rounds on social media, even before that, like, my understanding of the way it was presented, the OLA would allow people to film games, but it had to be agreed upon by both teams of that game, and it had to be a third party, nonpartisan to either team. Having said that, I know that there is companies that get hired to stream these games. Like, we got Daryl Smart Media. In the U.S., it's Blue Squatch Footage, who is the biggest one that covers a lot of Can-Am games. I know that Beyond Pride has been asked to cover games. So at the end of the day, who picks and chooses, I think, is really at the Ontario Lacrosse Festival would be up to the OLA to advise as to who can film or give permission to who can film. I know at Nationals years ago, there was a company that was hired, and that's back when everything was still on DVD, because you could go and buy single game footage or buy the whole package, which wouldn't be available till all the games were done. I also saw a rule now too in the OLA, little side note, that if fans are disruptive, the whatever team they're cheering for could be booted from provincials even.
Yeah, that was. It came out like a little bit past or before the last episode too.
Yeah.
We were talking about that a little bit.
I want some of the. It looks like some of those streaming videos, because you can tell by the Riptide turf, seems to be they film a lot of the provincial games at that main Iroquois Park rink.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it's Live Barn.
Or I think they've been doing their own, because like for qualifiers, it was good for qualifiers. They did it every game for every team, but I know provincials can get tough too, because since there's so many teams, they use different arenas. So it looks like it's mostly just the games at the Iroquois Park and mainly that main rink they've been filming.
Pad 1, yeah. Well, years ago, back when I was with the Junior C Six Nations Warriors, back before the Stealth were even born, there was a company called JVI Sports, and they used to film the Junior C games, and the two teams that were playing split the cost of paying the company to be there. So I really don't know, as far as provincials, who would be give the yes or no on that.
Well, it seems to be that's the biggest thing is, right, teams have to provide some type of, the compensation, stuff like that. And sometimes that could be kind of maybe I think JVI maybe wasn't getting paid sometimes or something like that. Maybe some teams stiffed him. And like Daryl, he went out on his own and did the Brooklyn Peterborough game 2 in Whippy. He's doing all those games plus all the Chiefs games, and then Steven Stamp's doing just the Peterborough games, but then Stamp goes and does the Kahnawake games too.
Well, I'm sure it gets difficult for the OLA because, like, when you think of like the NLL, someone will come in and purchase the rights to stream something and purchase the rights to, being able to broadcast whatever it is you're having. So with the OLA, they are a not-for-profit, so you cannot. I don't know if you can actually really purchase that because you wouldn't be able to resell it. You would have to do an in-kind donation and just say it's for free.
The ads are good ads. Like I know the ones like we're reading kind of for you guys is like it was also good for your guys' sponsorship package, right? Like pay this amount, you get this and this, and then if you pay this amount, we'll say that your business is on the live stream.
The gold, silver, and bronze packages.
Yeah. Like it was good. Like they're good to stream
and that's individual team sponsorship. I mean, I do see some streaming that, like, even if you watch Blue Squash, they're sponsored by businesses and their logos are right at the bottom of the screen. They're in the whole broadcast, which is cool. That might be something come AGM time for the OLA to inquire about.
Well, speaking of Blue Squash, I think they're doing a great job because, like, some of those places we don't have good internet. So, like, for them to be able to go location to location, and yes, sometimes the streaming quality isn't the greatest, but it's because of the internet. So, like, and that takes a lot of, like, patience as, like, someone who, you want to give out the best quality of video. You want to do all these cool things for your community, and you want to get your audience that you want the best quality. But when you're given like poor internet and you still have to put it out, a lot of people will like bash you. So I can see them always getting bashed, but it's not their fault that like the internet's just garbage in some places.
Like you said too, I seen Allegheny when that Newtown, that game wasn't streamed and everybody thought it was. And she wrote like must have been a mean Allegheny person was like, oh, they know the internet's bad. They should have told me it wasn't working because she would have made the arenas public Wi-Fi, private, just so they can use it. Not everybody else is sucking it up.
Well, it was when I was in Allegheny a few weeks back. The announcer came over and said, "For all you Wi-Fi bandits, shut your phone off because we don't have a strong enough Wi-Fi signal to broadcast live."
Okay, yeah. So that seems to be the problem there. And just like you assuming Tonawanda, I'm sure outside there's probably some issues, right? Like they have old school boards and.
Well,
right?
The good thing is, I mean, yeah, companies get bashed, but. I mean, you can always film it and put it out the next day or that night once you get home and you're within the confines of your own home with your own internet. You can upload it then. If some people can't wait that long to watch it, maybe they should consider going to the game live.
I had that one camera that moves on its own. There was like 33 people watching that live, and that camera was trash. So like some people will just watch it. They're just that into lacrosse. They'll be like, "Yeah, man."
You had some of my good plays on it though from Dreamcatcher, so it was all good. Hey, they said good job, Vale, and I was like, oh, we should clip it.
We should clip it. Meanwhile, it's all pixelated because of the Wi-Fi.
The Blue Sasquatch one was kind of cool because they'll have the players say where they're from or whatever. So when I was watching. After doing the Rivermen game Friday, I went home and ended up rewatching the Allegheny game. Shout out Lane. He had some good goals. And Tonawanda, they said, almost pulled versus the Warriors. Where were they down? They were down like 9-0 4 or something like that, come all the way back and lost 11-10. So they tried to almost have the magic with them again. And But one of the players for Tonawanda is from South Carolina, was like a Zach Terry. So I was like, this guy's from South Carolina. And I looked him up, and there's a whole article. He's like, I guess he was a really good attackman for Limestone. And originally family members are from Rochester. So it looks like he comes up to played in the collegiate box league for one of those states teams for the last couple summers, and now he's on Tonawanda, and I guess he wants to play in the NLL, so that's good for him getting box experience. And
well, it's just like Pat Timothy for Allegheny. He comes up from Fort Lauderdale.
yeah, like you said, and that's what I kind of said to the other thing. There was a Sanchez guy that even Perry brought up, and I was like, from Bears, and he's playing Owen Sound Senior. I'm like, the NL should take a look at some of these guys on their own dime that are paying money to try to get better for a box, rather than maybe just taking a PLL player or a big D1 field player for a press. Like, take the actual guy that's paying all this money in his own dime to get better and actually playing in the real leagues.
We have a guy that comes up for the Rivermen, drives from Detroit every, like, twice a week, however, whatever our schedule looks like, practices and games. He drives up, and he's an AP on a senior C card. So shout outs to him for being that dedicated, even though he's technically not on our roster. He still shows up for everything.
No, that's pretty good. And then even like you guys had the Richie, he was Arrows, and he was with you guys for a start and played some Chiefs games. He was kind of boarding here from Pennsylvania. And then there was I think it was Ty Ambush, a guy from Maryland, from Hartford Community College. And he was at Marquette with Noah Snyder and Hemlin on Arrows. They said, hey, come up. And then he signed the C card and was playing all stealth and AP and Rebels and Arrows, and like was living with the Arrows players. And then even the kid from Nebraska, Real Beal, did that a couple of years ago. Yeah. They were coming up here signing junior C cards and then APing all the way out.
Yeah.
Their league was kind of crazy. The junior C league, I thought North Shore and Burlington, almost said Brantford, was the Meredith Cup championship. But here, that was the semis, and the other semifinal was Peterborough had a bye.
Yeah.
That's what threw me off, because I think I seen the only series going on was Burlington and North Shore, but I forgot there's a Central Division now too. So they must have gave Peterborough the bye, and then Burlington, because I was thinking, East and West. And
well, I still say Peterborough's junior C team is in all actuality a B team, because they don't have B. You either play A ball or you play C in Peterborough. So the Peterborough puts out a very strong C team.
And
every year.
And like we said, those, even like we've heard guys like Hogarth or the Armstrong, like even like when they beat you guys that year with all those future NLL guys, they're like, instead of driving the hour to Clarington or more than an hour to Clarington for junior B, we'll just play junior C here and get AP'd.
And like what Ethan Riggs, didn't he play C ball for a while?
Yeah. You figure there's like Ethan Riggs was on Brantford junior C. There was even, like I said, that Ryan Smith, they said he was a late bloomer, you were almost going to coach Oakville Junior C before COVID. I guess he got his start a few years prior to that with Oakville Junior C.
Yeah,
and we have to get into some Elora and Kahnawake talk. I need some updates.
I still say we should have went so you guys could experience the crowd, but from the live stream that I watched, the crowd sounded pretty tame. I don't know whether they've turned a new leaf. I really don't know, but wasn't able to get to Elora to watch any of the games. I don't know about making a trip to Kahnawake to do that. That's we drove that this year once already, so it's quite the haul. But I would like to see it come back to Elora just so we can go and watch. But first game, I think, was a feeling out process. Elora won, what was it?
It's like 12-6 or something
something like that. And then game 2 yesterday was a barn burner. I watched most of it, had a little nap towards the end, but it was a good game. It was back and forth.
Elora's goalie, derogatory comments, 4-game suspension.
I heard about that. Yeah.
It's
I don't know if he said it to a ref, is what it sounds like.
He said it to a ref heard it. He was saying it to one of the coaching staff.
Oh, for Kahnawake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I was oblivious to that.
Yeah, so the ref actually called it. Yeah, so he did his job.
And he was the one that was doing a lot of stuff with the Rebels fans when they played them in the regular season, and goalie fight and everything like that. So he's was
this our starting goalie?
The starting goalie, yeah.
Oh, so the tide may turn now.
Yeah. So
he's a decent goalie. I seen him to make a lot of key saves yesterday's game before I nodded off.
Because I don't know where because like I said, last year was Jesse Morrison. He was an Orangeville guy that instead of playing Junior C, he went to Mimico B. Mimico was shipped him to Elora, and then they had Sam Forbes from Hamilton. But this year, Sam Forbes started off the season with Elora, but then made Burlington Junior A, and then Burlington Junior A shipped him to, instead of reclassifying him back down to Elora, they shipped him to St. Albert Junior A, his draft year in Fresnel. And so, yeah, like, they might be screwed.
Do you guys ever watch any of the press that comes out? I think Elora does it like with 509 Sports or what,
yeah, that area.
Yeah, they have like interviews and different stuff like that after the game.
And they chose not to have interviews after game 2.
I'm pretty sure. No, I think they did.
I saw a post that said Elora will not be having interviews after game 2.
Oh, okay.
So it must have been game 1.
Yeah.
And the McDougal, he's still having tons of points. He's got like over 208 points, and that was, I think, even before I watched yesterday's stat line. So that's a lot of points.
And I seen that there was a pick from one of the Kahnawake players who's from down here.
Mm-hmm.
Just rocked him right there. I can't. What's his name? He's
Was it
Bomberry down there.
Leighton?
Yeah.
That's Davey Sowden's son. Davey Sowden is one of the equipment guys for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I seen him set the pick, and guy just fell right there. It was a nice little reel there.
And then Dylan Martin's still playing as well.
Yeah. It's talking about picks. I posted a video and I didn't tag anybody, didn't name anybody, and I just put solid pick or 5-minute interference, and it was the pick John set that he was talking about the other day. And he did get a 5-minute interference penalty on that. And, I mean, I'm not going to choose sides. I was at the game.
I would have given 2.
My honest opinion, and I'm not saying this because it's my son, because the guy that he set the pick on, Bailey Sky, is a hell of a kid. You know, former JUCO national champion. He won the OLA Senior C Championship with the Tomahawks in 2023. Great kid. But to me, from the angle I had it, it was just a solid pick.
The only thing I could say is he did lift his shoulder.
I think that was natural reaction. If I walk up and poke
He's naturally going to get a penalty.
Is he
then.
suspended any games, or is it?
No, but I've never heard of a 5-minute interference penalty either.
At least he got only 5 seconds.
That's why I said 2 minutes.
Well, there was somebody commented and said he obviously knew he was getting a penalty because he was walking towards the penalty box. If you watch the video, he's walking towards the bench. The penalty box, it happened right in front of the penalty box.
I think he kind of went in penalty box when all the guys came after him, right?
He went towards the bench.
No, I'm saying, like, was it this way? And then, yeah, true.
Yeah, he was going towards the bench.
Yeah, because the benches are this way, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
From the way the video was shot, the benches were on this side. It happened here. He started walking that way. And then they gave him a 5-minute penalty. I mean, I'm not defending it. I think the refs had to give him something because it was a pretty brutal hit. At the end of the day, it was a brutal hit. Doesn't matter who was in it. It was a brutal hit. But, you know, kudos to Bailey. He got back up. He continued to play. He's a tough kid. John, I think, has his aggressive moments. I'm not saying that was aggressive, but in his mind, I talked to him about it later because I even said to him, I said, Bailey's a good kid. But in John's mind, he stood still like you're supposed to when you set a pick, and Bailey ran into him.
No, I agree that he did stand still. He did set a pick, but as he was falling, he like brushed him off. So it gave the appeal that as if that he was pushing him off.
Again, from the angle I saw it,
he was, going into it, I guess.
I honestly didn't see that whole brushing motion until I saw the video because from where I was sitting behind the play. Bailey was running away from me, so all I saw is Bailey Sky's back. Mm-hmm. That's where I was sitting. The angle I saw is Bailey was running straight and running to John. I'm not defending anybody. I'm just telling you the angle that I saw it from. And yes, you're right. I did see the arm come up, kind of a brushing motion from the video. But does it warrant 5 minutes?
No, I still say 2. Just 2. But like, there's only 15 seconds left.
Something like that. But it goes back to the chaos Tyndonega game where Owen took that vicious chop in the ribs from the goalie. What led up to that? And why did Owen get 2 games and the goalie got none?
Have you talked to Owen since the last episode?
Not really.
You rang him through the dirt pretty hard.
I was going to say, I think Cayman Daibo, too, was he the East leading goal scorer, I believe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he shout out to him. He got press for that. And Akwesasne's bench staff got bench staff.
Yeah,
for the
yeah, I saw that.
Which
I saw that.
because like they were kind of slow start, right? And then they went all the way to the East Finals. So shout out to them. And then Blaze Becker, Thompson up for goalie of the year. Blaze Becker, transition player of the year, and Arrow's bench staff for the year. They're up for goalie, bench staff, and transition player of the year. Those three guys.
Nice.
I can't remember if anybody was on there for a sportsmanship award or anything, but
I don't know either, but like I announced last episode, Rivermen got bench staff of the year. Thunderhill got MVP of the league. Ty Logan got defensive player of the year. Roddy Squire got most dedicated. So, I mean, kudos to our Six Nations teams for either winning or being nominated for these awards in the first place.
and then Warren was goalie of the year for.
Yeah.
Like, so they
Chiefs.
kind of do it different, right? How, like, those other leagues will do, like, the starter and the backup for goalie percentage awards, where, like, MSL just did the one goalie for...
Yeah. Shout out to Warren, who I believe was at SummerSlam all weekend this weekend.
There you go.
SummerSlam, isn't that like wrestling?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
What else has been going on in the lacrosse world? I know we kind of skipped over it last episode about Nighthawks.
So Nighthawks, we were talking, like, nobody knows, are they going to fold? Are they going to stay in Rochester? And it seems like the rumor mill is just going around, right? There were some rumors last night on lacrosse Twitter of Wegmans grocery store was buying them.
Very late last night, I saw something about that.
And then just before we were saying we were going to talk about today, the same gentleman now posted, wait, now it looks like they're not buying them and they're not a part of the group. So it's like we said, it was very Panther City-ish, where Panther City last year, they're moving it. They may stay in Texas. They may go to St. Louis. And then last second, they're supposed to go to Charlotte, North Carolina. And then a day later, they fold. So the guy, very PSD, he said, from the Panther Cities. Because, I mean, obviously, right, Kurt, left Nighthawks there, but took his team, right? And they ended up being expansion. Pagula bought him, but he's owning two teams in the league, plus other teams, and wants to sell them. So it's kind of like, and it's tough because you can't really how can you have free agency start and everything like that with the Nighthawks not knowing if they're going to fold or anything like that, right? Like,
I saw a bit of a podcast with Gary Grube. Mm-hmm. I was kind of chuckling, but he hit the nail on the head. He said if Wegmans buys it, and they're based out of Rochester, it's a pretty big grocery chain. They're based in Rochester. The tickets could be available at every cashier in Wegmans, which would boost attendance. All their apparel could be for sale at Wegmans, which again would boost their attendance.
Mm-hmm. What kind of store is Wegmans again?
It's a grocery store.
It's a grocery store, though.
I think it's like a famous one. Kind of.
What else do they own, though? A lot of grocery chains will also own other things. So, like, I'm sure they own something else.
Hang on, Chris is going to check for us.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What you got going on over there?
We'll see what Wegmans owns. Because now even I'm kind of curious. I'm like you said, right?
Like even when you think of like Metro, you think of like Zehrs, you think of like they're all owned by bigger.
They're owned by Loblaws.
Okay.
Somebody posted they own something in New York. They do own a few things now. Now that you say it, I saw the post because somebody was like, "How much is Wegmans going to care about their team?"
Yeah, I can just imagine that like Wegmans probably has to own something else because you're not going to see stuff like that at a grocery store. But like if let's say they own plazas that their grocery stores are in, and they have other plazas that they own real estate, basically own land.
If you go to the Zehrs grocery store chain, they sell Joe Fresh clothes.
That's Joe Fresh though. That's a brand that they sell.
Perfect, but it could be the same.
It's a different demo, I would just think. I don't know.
Rochester's pretty lacrosse deep. They are. It's a lacrosse city for sure.
So this was somebody's tweet I seen. That's what the family. He's like, it makes zero sense for them to buy it as a business. The family's knee deep in running grocery stores, wine stores, and an NYC restaurant.
Okay, so maybe they're gonna push not wine, but what are they called? Spritzers, yeah. So like you'll probably see spritzers sold at the venues. And it'll be by the company that maybe they manufacture themselves. The same way that HamOnt manufactures their own beer, and you see that the Bengals will sell it.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
So it's no different. That's like you just think about like the stuff that you currently own. Most time it's real estate, it's land, and you think about what can you fill that land and real estate up with, and you go out there and you just start acquiring businesses and figuring out a way to market them.
Well, last year in Ladner there was actual President's Cup beer. So a local brewery out there, in conjunction with the President's Cup, I'm assuming, brewed beer specifically for the President's Cup, and that's what was on the can was President's Cup beer. And I got to tell you, I had half of one, and it was god awful.
Well, like, isn't beer like that, like beer that you kind of like not make yourself, but done in smaller distillates? I don't know what they're called, distilleries or something. Aren't they?
Microbreweries, I don't know.
Microbreweries or something. Aren't they always kind of? I don't know what the word tinny. Like they're made in big giant tins.
Microbreweries and small town breweries, to me, the beer's always been a little stronger tasting. And I get it. They're perfecting their own recipe. I've had buddies who have made beer at home that was
legends.
Not too bad, but again, it had a stronger taste. And it depends on what they make it out of. I don't know the ingredients. I'm not going to get into beer making anytime soon. So
imagine that. There you go.
I don't know.
Will we ever get a Creators Game IPA?
Yeah, like
you said, because who else? Is it Tie Cats or somebody else I seen has they have beer?
Well, that's what HamOnt's kind of like. They have their own brewery. I think it's on Barton Street, Barton, and it's downtown. It's downtown. Yeah, it's on that side.
Maybe Bixel's Brewery in Brantford can fire up and start making some Grand River Warriors beer.
That's a lot of Warriors. Legends. What other updates do we got in lacrosse going on right now?
I know we were talking about the CBA, so that's like a whole other thing too, because a lot of things were supposedly the players and the Player Association wanted to see the books of the team owners and see kind of how much they're actually making and stuff. And like even some of those players were saying that they know the books will be different between a Colorado, Buffalo compared to maybe a Georgia and one of the other lackluster attendance cities, right? Or the teams that own the arenas and stuff, that own the NHL teams and own the arenas, may be not losing as much as a person that's renting the arenas. And then I guess some of those players too supposedly want if the jersey sales, percentages
of their jersey sales,
yeah, and different things like that. So that's been a whole talk about thing. But I can get weird because you hear that the players may be going on strike and everything like that, and the free agency got pushed from the 1st to the 15th at the moment. But you see players signing with teams, so all that is players can sign with their own teams before free agency opens, just like in the other sports like NHL and stuff. And so some of those Robert Churches and Keenan signing with Rush, and some guys signed with Halifax, and the Rock signed his son Dowick, and I think a couple other Rock guys, a couple guys signed with Seals. Is just those guys re-signing with their teams before free agency opens. But it does almost make you think hey, if you're trying to, because you want this and that and this, isn't signing before those paperwork for the Player Association signed? Isn't that doesn't that put your president of the Player Association a bad spot? Because he's because they'll be you're saying players don't like what we're doing now, and you want to make this, and this different. But how come guys are re-signing with teams then?
Just keep your stick hot, Vail, because they may need replacement players.
Yeah, it'll be like the Washington football team all over again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about anything about that, but I can imagine that but you want players to from an owner perspective, you always want players to resign because that just means that you have more.
The owners do, I'm saying, but I'm just saying as the players president that's fighting for more.
Of course, the players president's got to be hey guys, stop giving away your rights.
Yeah,
right?
Hey, none of us sign before it's done, but some guys, the guys that are able to sign with their teams, are signing with their teams for the most part, and some of it too is free agency is weird. You signed your 1-year deal. Let's say players last year, they signed a 1-year deal with the Rock, but that was their rookie year. Coming into free agency, you just assume my 1-year deal's done. But no, the Rocks have all the negotiation rights and the powers over you. So it's weird where other sports are kind of that's the whole knock, what Del Bianco and stuff was he gets franchise tag, and then they don't really become a true free agent till 35.
Well, and a lot of teams, you see a lot of players who have signed 1-year deals, and that was just to give them permission to even be on the floor at tryouts. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of teams in amateur organizations will have tryouts, and we usually give players the first 3 tryouts to impress. After that, if we got to let you go, we got to let you go. So for me to break it down in my own brain, to me, it's like, okay, after 3 tryouts, if we want to keep this guy and have another look at him, we got to sign him to a 1-year deal. Doesn't mean you're even on the team, really.
And like you said, too, even guys that, 1-year deals for that, and then you even see a guy sign a 4-year deal, and then he gets cut in training camp, and it's like all that's non-guaranteed. So you get signed 4 years for this amount of money, and you get cut, and you get nothing.
Has anyone ever came out to the Rivermen's pretty serious organization, like the vibe of it is you guys are very serious when you're there. But has anyone ever came and tried to try out and you're just like, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
No, like you're. I don't think so.
Yes, there has been, but to be fair, we give them 3.
Yeah,
we give them 3 tryouts, just like everybody.
But what do you kind of say though? Like you just stand back and just be like,
I have
keep going.
I have a story for you. So then, I think it was right when. Remember, you had kind of left junior C that 1 year, then you came back later on. But then I was going to help the team with Ashton Jacobs and Andy, and me and Ashton were kind of running the practice, and we already had cut a whole bunch of kids because then I showed up for the first practice, went up in the sky thing, and they were like, Chris showed up to one practice and 20 kids got cut. And then we were like, because we were trying to start like the practice or whatever, and then a couple practices later, some kid came out and he was terrible. And like Ashton and stuff, they were like, we just cut a bunch of like better kids. How come this kid's out? And one of the people that was going to help the Junior C Warriors at the time was like, hey, he just paid us $50, so just let him practice today and like 2 more times and you can cut him after that. And then he was like terrible though. And then like he couldn't catch or throw. He was big and out of shape. And he had this white t-shirt on. And then Spencer Martin, right? We know he can throw the knuckles. He's going in the boards towards the end of the game, or like a drill me and Ashton were running, and he goes and scoops up the ball, and that kid just kind of like hit him in the back into the boards. And Spencer's not one afraid to drop the gloves. He beat the shit out of that guy, and then that guy's like white t-shirt got all ripped. He's all bloody, and he's just like. And then afterwards, my younger brother-in-law was helping doing the ball boy, comes up and he goes, I heard that guy tell his girlfriend asked him, how was your first time playing lacrosse? And it looked like it went kind of rough. And he's like, yeah, that was fun. And then he never came back.
First time playing lacrosse.
Yeah. So we were like, no wonder why that kid was terrible. But hey, that's the way you take his $50 and we didn't have to cut him after the 3rd tryout because he was beat up and out of there after the first.
Was he a Scon kid or?
Yeah, he must have been. I think they said he was from like another res or something like that. So yeah, that's why, because he was one of those guys, like you said, he was a native player, but from somewhere else, and I think he comes out, he can't catch the ball, and he's got a Rebels helmet on and Arrows gloves, so it's like, who'd you borrow that gear from or buy it off of? Because we were like, this kid sucks. He was just straight up drill killing, right? Like you're passing in line drills, and he's just completely missing the ball, and all the kids were getting mad. And that's when I went over and we're like, who's this kid? Like, just keep him 2 more tryouts. He paid us $50.
What about when players come out and like for their own safety, you got to tell them no, like, nah, you can't do that. Or you might have to go up to some of the bigger guys and be like, all right, just leave this one alone. Like he's not.
The guys can see that usually if they're like if a kid's out there really trying and he's just not ready yet, we'll let him. We'll kind of give him pointers. Talk to bench staff. Say, what do you think? And they're like, because a lot of times the guys that get let go will come back and say, what do I need to work on? So to me, when a player does that, they understand why they were let go. You get some players who you let go and they're just like, yeah, thanks for telling me. Or you get some players that are astounded they got let go and blow up your phone for the next week. And like that's even happened this year. I just don't even entertain it because I got nothing to say. All you want to do is argue and probably bash me and the team, so I got nothing to say. You were let go for a reason. Deal with it.
Like you said, obviously, like a guy like Bobo Courtney hasn't played in a long time, but he's a very skilled, high-end player to come out of retirement and play for you guys. But then there were some other guys I talked to that were looked out of shape, or one guy I never even knew play lacrosse, and one other kid's like, I haven't played since Bantam, but I think I'm going out for the Rivermen. And that's when I was always, and I've heard that from a few different times in the winter and the fall, and I'm like, start Thursday night pickup, work your way to men's league, like maybe even say, play Masters or Senior C, but like, this team goes for national championships every year. Why are we saying I haven't played in 12 years and I got to lose 50 pounds, but I'm going to go out for those guys? Like,
and if that doesn't work out, Daya's got a spot for you holding a camera.
Yeah. We'll keep you involved in the game.
Yeah.
Like,
there was a guy in 2024, came out for the Rivermen, had tried out previous years and hadn't made it. Came out for the Rivermen. There was a couple of factors why he didn't make the team. One was he just wasn't there yet skill-wise or conditioning-wise. And he was messaging me saying, I think I'll go to Oakville for Senior A. I'm like, okay, let me know if that works out for you. We don't have to sign any papers for you because you're moving up. So let me know how that works out. And I messaged him out of the blue last year, and I was like, how is Oakville going? He probably took it as a smart-ass comment, but I genuinely wanted to know if he had been out to any of their practices or tryouts. And he never answered, so I'm like, yeah, that probably stung a little, because if he's not making a B team, I don't know if he'll make an A team. Not saying that it doesn't happen. I mean, Johnny Paulus went from, what was it, getting cut from the Rebels to making Arrows. So, I mean, it's doable to get let go by a team lower and making the higher team. I've seen it. But in this instance, it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, like I said, and like a lot of guys, when you just hear stuff, right, it's like, probably should think of doing something else. Golf's free, or golf's expensive, but we'll get your membership at Fescue's instead of Monthill if you can't afford it.
Come on, Bill.
Here's a prime example. There's guys that are aged out of the Rebels this year. Mm-hmm. And obviously they were good enough to be Junior B players. Are they good enough to be Senior B players next year? Some of them, maybe not. But how do you tell that kid, go play Senior C for a year or two, get used to playing with men? Yeah, they automatically think they're walking into a team and have a spot.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's tough. It's like you said, they see those. I've been thinking too. I'm like, oh, a lot of kids did age out of those junior programs here, but you guys are pretty set and young. So on especially on the offensive side, so it's like that's like really bad. Like you may say you're going to play Rivermen, but you may play Tomahawks, Warriors, or Wellington, or Chaos, or right.
Mm-hmm. I have no issues. Like I'll tell people now, you've graduated junior. This was your last junior year. Go play C-ball first. I'm not saying your talent level isn't there. I'm saying get used to playing with men, because you were coming out of a league where you were the grown man, but you're going to step into a league where you're the rookie kid.
You're 21. You're the oldest guy in the league, going from 22, and you could be playing a guy 40, right?
Well, I mean, prime example. A lot of people really praise Thunder, and he's not a big guy. League MVP, second in overall scoring in the whole league. He was off by 2 points. That says a lot for our junior graduates. But let's be honest, not everybody's a Thunder Hill. You might get guys that are played great defensively. We have guys that come out for the Rivermen this year that were great defensive players in junior. Play a game of Senior B, totally lost. Not a clue what they're doing.
Because I don't think you really have any rookies on the back end, right? Like I said, on the broadcast,
oldest rookie in the league.
Yeah, and then I was like, Ty Logan's technically a rookie for you guys, but I'm like, oh, he's won Man Cups, he's gone to President's Cups with Ottawa, so he's not a rookie to senior ball, right?
Not a rookie to senior ball, no, but it's his first time playing Rivermen.
Yeah, but besides that, I don't think any, like you have all the young guys more on the...
What do you think makes Thunder though? Because that is very interesting that, like, you know, he isn't definitely not the biggest guy on the team. He's the smallest guy on the team, has the most points. I see him, like, I'm not saying he gets knocked around, because he doesn't, but like when he does, he gets up so fast that it's like,
he's shifty.
He's like a pinball, but he's very elusive on the floor. Like I've seen him get doubled, tripled. Sure, they can knock him down to one knee, but somehow he's up and he's running out of the middle of that scrum with the ball still. He's slippery. He's elusive. He's got good IQ. And last year we had Rossi. Rossi was the same way last year, Thunder's brother. So it's good to have them both on the team. But Chris is right. We went with a little bit of a younger offense this year. We still got a couple old veterans like Danton Miller. Danton Miller pulls up clutch when needed.
Yeah, he had a good last couple of games. Yeah,
very good. The big thing with him and even Rod that had that one goal where Badan's like he's made a living off of getting the rebound back in his stick and finding the goalie Walsh just off balance or out of position, and he's been able to kind of catch off the rebound and bury it where that Walsh has either been on his back or he's been this way, and then Danton gets it there and fires it through. So
yeah, and Roddy, you know, we had to throw him up on forward the one game, and he scored
twice.
Yeah, he shows how versatile he is, and that's what a captain does, though. He accepts whatever role you give him. And he stepped in and he did it.
And like I said, really in that game one, I'm like, oh, the Danton and Rod are doing really good at 5 of the goals, but all those young guys needed to step up. They didn't really in game one, but then since have, right, an OT loss and then back-to-back wins where those Elise, Thunder, all those other guys, Davin Bummer gets the ball and he keeps it moving, right? So
Yeah, and like you said earlier, David Anderson.
He's really good. And you were missing him in game one. So
he's a beast.
Even like we said, that he was the one play where like he almost picked it off, but he knocked it down. But the Hamilton guy got it and he like kind of fell and almost tried to like, hit him kind of. So he sells out.
Right, and we did not know he could take draws either.
Oh, really? There you go.
I noticed that like Danton, he does really good at like capitalizing on other people's mistakes because he's like super tall. So like even capitalizing on your other like your own team. So if someone misses the net, he can actually get the rebound and be tall enough to grab it and just kind of just dump it in. And like it works for him. He's always in the right position. So it's like, oh, it works.
Denton's at a time in his career now where he has to play smarter because he doesn't have the wheels anymore, and that happens as you get older. So he's the epitome of work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, and you see that because like when he scores, he'll turn around and he'll walk towards the bench, and I see his face, and it's usually smiling because he's capitalizing on someone's mistake. You know, he's just playing smart. He's just being at the right place, right time. Balls are right there. Boom.
And you say probably good with him too is he runs the frog paw mauler. So even though like he is older, it could go both ways where maybe your body needs a rest, but him running the frog paw maulers and the Stallions field team for senior field, he's always playing. So at least he always has his stick in his hand and he's always in some type of game shape.
And you know what? He's the first one too. If there's like say we need to sit somebody and we're having a tough time deciding, he'll be the first one to step up and say, I'll sit. I need a rest anyways. So he's a team player. The same with Rod. Rod is a team player. All of our veteran guys are team players. They know what has to be done, and if they have to sacrifice their own playing time for the betterment of the team, they will. It's the same with Elin Henhawk. He accepts whatever he is given, whether it's a start, whether it's sit, whether it's other goalies hot. You're gonna sit the next game, or a couple of years ago, last year, he was relegated to our third string for President's Cup. He took everything in stride. But Elin puts in the work, he legitimately does. He's in the gym 4 or 5 days a week. When he's off the floor, plus he's at whatever function for the team we have, he is there, usually first one.
Yeah, and I don't believe he played the other night. It was
which one were
Ty Belanger.
Yeah,
Ty Belanger in that.
Yeah, he played. He had a good game, and I thought he almost got injured for a little bit there. Yeah.
His hand, and then remember he also took the head off the face.
He was playing with his helmet a few times too. So I don't know, but he held it down. Finished it. And
he's a former NL goalie. He I think at one point he had the lowest goals against for quite a while, and I mean he's a wily veteran, and him and Elin have different styles, and we saw Hamilton was able to adjust to both of their styles, but Ty right now is hot. I mean I can't speak for our bench staff and their decisions because game day lineup, who's your starting goalie is not my decision. That's up to the coaches because I supply the butter, they put it on the bread kind of thing. So it's up to them, and I don't dispute any decisions they make. And like I said, our players are pretty good with taking it in stride if they got to sit.
Because did you guys reach out to Ty Belanger, or he just kind of come out for you guys, right? Is what it
I don't even remember how that played out. It was so many months ago, Chris. Ty originally was signed to a senior C card in London. Came out to practice, showed us what he had. I mean, we had a lot of goalies out this year at tryouts. I think at one point there was 8 or 9 goalies on the floor, and some of them we wanted to keep within the umbrella. Like Jojo Brandt. We let him go, but he went to the Tomahawks, and we've used him since then. Good goaltender, pretty quick on his feet. Other goalies, for whatever reason, became upset with us, and we haven't bothered to reach out because we kind of, at that time, we kind of got the idea that they would never come back to us. I don't know. But then you get a player like, say, Trav Stotts with us most of the year, and it didn't come down to skill-wise, talent-wise. It came down to we got so many D guys, and we have to let good ones go. So it became a numbers thing with Trav Stotts. he went back to the Tomahawks, and every time we call him, if needed, he's there. Even if he doesn't suit up, he still comes, takes a warm-up. And like I said, the bench staff make the decision on who's playing, and it's working.
And like you said, maybe next year somebody retires, right? One of those older players, and maybe he can slip back in full time, right?
Oh, Trav Stotts he's right on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time, and like I said, it's not his skill level. It just boils down to numbers. If we got 17 great defenders, but we only want to keep 10. There's going to be 7 good defenders that get let go, and it's not because of anything personal.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it many times. It's a business at this level.
And like you said, at least he goes Tomahawks, and then you got to call him up after, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I always think that, like, you know how you say that, like, let's say if you have to get rid of a player, maybe they're texting you or something like that, they're not so happy about it, and you're just kind of like, oh, whatever. But like, if I were the player, and if we all love lacrosse as much as we do, we probably want to be within this business, on the floor or off the floor. Mm-hmm. So I would think that as a player, I would want to show up, like anytime I get called up to play for someone, even if I don't get to play during the game, I get to warm up, I get to be a part of the organization, I get to be a part of the business of which goes on with that organization. I think it's with every player's best interest just to show up and be a part of the business if that's what you want to be in. And as lacrosse players, not everyone's going to make it pro, not everyone's going to make a bunch of money playing pro, but there's a lot of business that can be done. So like just by just showing up, just being there, just being present, and just like actually focusing on the team and what they need, and if they're saying that we don't need you tonight, but thank you for showing up, I think that will take you a lot of places in business and in the business of lacrosse.
Oh, for sure. The one guy we got from Detroit, like I said, he's signed to a senior C card, and he still shows up for all of ours. And he said, "I'm learning just by being in the dressing room and taking a warm up." Fair enough. Yeah. It doesn't go unnoticed, believe me.
Okay, so we got like a few more minutes. I got a couple announcements. I want to see what you guys think about some of these plans that we have coming up. Are you guys interested in doing a skills competition?
Depending on my schedule, hell yeah.
I want to do a skills competition. It is scheduled for September. The date is still open because the sponsorship packages will be going out this week. So if you're a local organization, if you're a business looking to be a part of this thing we're growing here, the game of lacrosse, the creator's game, reach out to us, info@beyondpride.com, and we'll also be coming around to you because we got pamphlets all ready to go out and get us some sponsors and do some really good things. So here's what we're going to do. I want to have a skills competition for, 6 nations and surrounding areas. Because there's a lot of teams, like I'm sure like Peterborough would want to come. I'm sure Oakville would want to come. I'm sure Hamilton would want to come once they hear about some of these players that are going to be helping promote this. So what I see is that we're going to be having a hardest shot. We're going to be having a relay, fastest break, and a few other activities. And each activity will have a sponsor. So we're looking for sponsors to sponsor this event. Again, we'll be reaching out to you guys, or you can reach out to us. And it's all going to be streamed. I've already spoke with Through the Red Door here. They're going to help us make it happen. And we're going to have a very, very great high-quality stream of this where we're going to be able to interview all of these kids, all the youth. We're going to have a little platform where they can come up once they're done the relay. We can be like, hey, like, are you excited for next year? Because, again, the season's kind of over this year, but we can figure out, individually what was their hardest shot. What do they need to work on next year so that they can continue to work on it? I'm going to be reaching out to Rivermen players. I've already talked to Wayne. Hopefully, he'll be sending some Rivermen players to do the relay. I'm going to be reaching out to some Chief players to do the relay, to create some promotional videos so that we can inspire these kids to beat the Rivermen's time, to beat the Chiefs' times, to beat the Warriors' times, to beat Rebels, Arrows, and so forth, right? And all just to inspire the youth to keep going. So that's one of the projects that we have coming up in this September. So we're going to be reaching out to you. So what does everyone think? What would you guys like to see at this? Like when you think of a big festival or a lacrosse tournament, what do we need?
Yeah, I think it would be cool. Like you said, just like a lot of participation, right? And a lot of people showing up and supporting. And like you said, just like businesses and different things like, hey, this is a good opportunity to get seen and also help out at the same time.
Well, you see that at the Ontario Lacrosse Festival. You see similar stuff. You see, I've been to the Dick's tournament of Sporting Goods Tournament of Champions in Florida, where they've had like hardest shot for the weekend, stuff like that, and gave away prizes. I don't know if it was ever streamed, but I think that's a perfect way to grow the game and see community involvement and players giving back.
Yep. You're going to see all these players here. They're going to do the relays with us. The Six Nations players will come out, Hamilton players, Peterborough, whoever wants to come out and be a part of this. And then we're also going to be talking about our youth ambassador program and actually how we're going to be choosing our youth ambassadors, which is going to take us in all the way to 2016 with this program that we're starting.
26.
Oh, yeah,
26,
2026.
Marty McFly here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Back in time.
Went back a little bit there.
Yes, you did.
But we have a lot of things coming up, and I just want to get like some more feedback of what you guys think. Like, are we looking for, maybe we should get some stick makers there, or maybe we should get vendors. Like, what do you guys think? What do you think the lacrosse people community want?
That'd be cool. I think a lot of wood sticks stuff's like really picking up and stuff, and even a guy around locally was like, "Hey, maybe we should talk some more about the wood stick making and stuff in lacrosse." And maybe we'll have another guy on. I know we had Delby Senior last year, and I was even thinking of some talks I wanted to even ask you guys about, like, doing like a tournament or even a helmet and glove tournament. They do one in Onondaga where we just do wood sticks, and then you could have a couple makers out and stuff like that. Somebody put a good idea, like if we did it at the ILA, and then the stick makers can be up top of the banquet hall. But I know that's still still be in the works.
Need sponsors to cover the floor time.
Yeah, that's the thing I was thinking for that too, and we can make it.
Unless you know somebody who knows somebody.
We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out. But that is the plan. This is going to be happening this year, not 2016.
No.
This year, this September. Reach out to us, info@Beyond Pride. I'm going to have some information in the description of this podcast of how you guys can see, how you guys can actually sponsor it. There's going to be a whole pamphlet down there for you guys. You can learn more about what we're trying to do, what we're trying to grow. And does anybody have anything else they want to say for this week? It was a very intense.
Good luck tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll see what I can do today about getting you some self-defense classes.
This is the thing, man. I was just like, hey, and
this will probably go out tomorrow, but the game will be streamed tonight if you're not around.
It will.
Yeah, but you got to keep tuning in to the most exciting thing on YouTube and the Mecca of lacrosse. This is the Creators Game Podcast. Until next week, we're out of here. Peace.